Welcome to the Louie Herron podcast, where I'm going deep into business, sales, leadership, and life. And I mean life, from the boardroom to the bedroom, from business acquisitions to personal addictions, from being saved yet still feeling like a slave, from manning up to mousing out, dealing with divinity to reality. This podcast is dedicated to growth, learning, inspiration, and healing. Jump in, hang on, and hang out. You'll never know which topic I'll tackle next. But one thing's for certain, I'm here to share my experiences, strengths, failures, and hope, all to help us live life at the highest level we can. Check Mike, here we go. Another week of the Louie Herron podcast. Everyone, what's going on? I hope your week was fruitful. Let's talk this week about some salespeople. We talk about the podcast being about leadership, sales, business, and life's lessons. Look, this week I want to talk about some salespeople. Near and dear to my heart. I love salespeople. I love selling. I love passion. I love getting better. The sales game is probably one of the closest things to sports that I can think of, with winning and losing. Man, there's rejection. There's the agony of defeat. A deal just blew out that you banked on the commission already, or the thrill of the kill. You know, you get out of the cave, you go kill something, cook it, and you eat it. You had a nice commission on a phenomenal deal that you worked hard on for a period of time, whether that's real estate or financial services or the car business or any sales. It doesn't matter. And I want to talk to you about 6 qualities of great salespeople. Now, I think it's very, very important to realize, excuse me, that salespeople, we're not. I guess there's an age old debate about being predisposed by birth. I think there are fast paced people, there are slow paced people, there are analytical people, there are people that are naturally more, extroverted versus introverted. Yes, but selling and sales skills are definitely developed. And they're developed over time. They're developed over practice. They're developed over a willingness to get better. And so I'm going to bring you 6 great qualities of phenomenal salespeople. There are more, but I think if you can hone in and really work on these 6, this is part of your craft. If you're in the sales game, and by the way, if you're a business owner, you're still in the sales game. One of the things that I think we lose sight of is, even if you own the company, remember, you're always selling somebody something. Whether you may not be on the front lines selling the exact product or service, but you may be selling the people who are on the front lines. There's a vision that has to be cast. There is, you have to get up every day and sell yourself. So you're always selling. And so all of these 6 qualities, they're going to be applicable whether you're at the top, whether you're in middle management, or whether you're on the sales floor, one-on-one with the client, hand-to-hand combat. All of it's relative, and I think it's important. So when I'm speaking to you, I'm speaking to me, because even though I own my own company, I'm still selling. And like I mentioned before, I got to sell myself every day when the day doesn't go well, in the face of my rejection, in the face of me prospecting. Remember, I've owned dealerships, and that was my world of expertise, where didn't necessarily have to be on the phone with a client every single day. Life was it was easier in some capacities, harder in other capacities. What I was managing was different, but there is nothing more difficult than one-on-one, a sales representative with a client having to close a deal, and his income is predicated on that deal coming together. And by the way, that consumer is shopping other vendors. They can choose who they want to do business with. It's not an easy game. Sales is not an easy game, but when you get it, it becomes easier and it becomes a lot of fun. So let's get right into the 6 qualities of a great sales professional, a great salesperson. First thing that comes to mind is audacity, right? So what is audacity, right? Audacity is the willingness to take bold risks. You may have had someone say, "Man, I can't believe you had the audacity to say X to me," whatever that was. I can't believe that's right. You have the audacity. A great salesperson has the willingness to take bold risks. What is bold? Bold is confident and courageous. Risks means great salesperson puts himself or herself in situations of exposure, maybe potential danger, right? The loss of a sale in this scenario. right? But you're exposing yourself. You have the audacity. You have the audacity as a great salesperson to not be ready to shake that customer's hand or pick up the phone, not be fully trained. You do it anyways because you have audacity. And but mind you, when you're not fully ready and you're not fully trained, but you're still engaging with clients and prospects, that's called learning on the job. There's value there. You have to learn in the classroom, you have to learn in the real world, right? But you also have the audacity to take that bold risk. Even when you've been rejected, the sales representative that has audacity forward, continues to move forward, even when they've been rejected. That's not an easy trait to pick up. Most people turn around and tuck their head between the legs and go the opposite direction. When they have so much adversity, when they have so much rejection, they're done. That's why you have a lot of people go, man, phew, sales is not for me. I am not going to do sales. I can't do sales. What they're really saying is they don't have the willingness to take the bold risk, stay in the game, to learn the craft, right? So we're talking about six great qualities for salespeople. The first one that comes to mind is audacity. Second one, repetition. Now, again, you guys have heard it before. Repetition is the mother of skill. When you do something over and over and over, mind you, it's the right thing over and over and over, you're going to develop some skill. But repetition is the ability to learn words, scripts, process, situations, and presentations over and over and over and fine tune them. You want to be a great salesperson? You remember back in the day when you were in grade, I don't know, it was probably grade school when you're learning multiplication. We used to have those flashcards, and I'll date myself, but we used to stand up side by side, and we'd be one of the most fun games. We'd be next to our schoolmate. I'd stand up, he'd stand up, boom, flip a flashcard, four times three, whoever gets it first, boom, you sit down, you keep going, and you try to make it all the way around the classroom. That repetition just developed the skill of multiplication. Look, the sales game's no different. You flashcards, right? We have flashcards, with closes. Customer says this, what do you say? Customer says that, what do you say? Over and over and over. Here's the problem. If you're not in front of many clients, then you don't get many reps, which means the only way you can get reps is to practice on your own or with fellow associates to get better. Otherwise, you're going to cost yourself money with the real customers because you haven't had enough practice, in the training room, getting better over and over and over. You've got to have the ability to learn the words and the scripts, but also the process. What is your sales process? You should know that sales process forwards, backwards. If you started in the middle, you should be able to go backwards. You should be able to go forwards. You shouldn't have any moments where you have to think, where am I at in the process? What should I do now? What's the next step? Okay, I'm on step 4 of the sale. Step 5 is no, man. Repetition. You should have the process nailed down. Situations. You got the customer that's the grinder. You got the customer that's got not so good credit. You got the customer that's emotionally engaged and involved and easier to close. You've got all these situations that pop up. Repetition. A great quality of a sales representative, again, is doing the reps. Presentations. What is your product? Do you know your product forwards and backwards? I'm going to be the first to admit to you, when I first started selling cars back in 95, I worked with a Honda dealership. Man, Louie sold Louie. I sold myself. I didn't really know the Honda Civic, the Honda Accord, the CRV, I didn't know all that product, the double wishbone suspension, the ABS braking system and how intricate and how it worked. At first, I didn't know any of those things. But I can tell you, if you know your presentation, if you know your product, if you know exactly everything you need to know about it over and over and over, you do these reps over and over and over, you become a master at your craft. This repetition is what fine tunes your skills over time. Great salesperson has audacity, the boldness, and the willingness to take the risk in the face of adversity and rejection. It's the person who's willing to put in the reps, even in the classroom, in the training room with other associates to get better, phone skills, doing, and nowadays with social media, doing text messaging and so on and so forth. Simple writing of an email. Literally, you're talking about basic tenets and fundamentals that we need a lot of reps. You want to be a great salesperson? You need to do a lot of reps. Number 3, discipline. What is discipline? Discipline, the end result of discipline is trained behavior. Trained behavior. Someone that has discipline has trained behavior. This is what I talk about all the time with body being balanced in business. And I talk about the value of working out and exercising. It's not to necessarily get great muscles or even honestly, it's not even for your heart or your gut, your stomach, your things that are internally that are important. I think those things are gravely important. But the byproduct of exercising and working out consistently gives you disciplines. Those disciplines bleed off in other areas of your life. Why? Because exercising is probably one of the most aggravating, tough things to do when you're first starting out until you learn to love it. And it's no different with your process. You got to learn to love the process, not just the end result. The end result is to sell something to somebody. That's the end result. We love that. That's getting in the end zone. We love getting in the end zone. We don't necessarily like starting the ball at the 20-yard line, having to go 80 yards to score. That could be tough at times, right? So again, the discipline, the trained behavior, that is the consistency in the follow up. That means every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions, we get up and we do follow up. Every day in the dictionary, every day means every single day. You don't feel like it. I get it. I didn't feel like it all the time. But again, we're talking about 6 qualities of great salespeople. Discipline is one of them. Consistency in following up, consistency in showing up, just literally showing up, getting out of the bed, getting up early enough. Don't show up, coming into your workplace on 2 wheels, man, at 5 minutes after 9 when the meeting starts at 9. You're talking about be there 5 minutes, 10 minutes, quarter till 9. Again, it's the consistency of showing up, consistency of doing the work, right? Which is the training, the things that we talk about to get better to harness your craft. Consistently learning your craft, right? It's like the old adage of 10,000 hours equals trained behavior. How many hours of work do you have put into your craft? Again, at the end of the day, you've got to have the discipline in the close to ask the consumer to buy for the 5th time in the sale. So I don't know what industry you're in, but at least in the auto business, we're trained that we get into the close and we ask for the order 3 times, 4 times, ask a 5th time, confirm that we have no opportunity today to do business. I don't know what industry you're in, but I will tell you that again, to have the discipline to ask for the business. So many times you ask once, maybe twice, and you're done. Oh, they're not buying. They're not buying. Yeah, you're dig in, dig in. You need to have more words, more reps with scripts, more reps with words to be able to sit there in the close long enough to justify when a customer says, I don't know, again, or they're saying no to you. Again, so many times you interpret that as no as in no, when really it's KNOW. They don't know enough. You haven't shared enough for them to make a well-informed decision at this particular time. And now you've lost that client potentially to another vendor or another place of business that gets to earn their business. So that's number 3 is discipline. Number 4 of a great salesperson of the 6 trades, you got to have some intuition. Intuition. This comes with time. This comes with practice. The intuition is the ability to understand something immediately without even consciously reasoning. Like in other words, you have that intuition, that gut feeling. Again, the ability to know where you're going within a deal with a consumer nearly without thought. Right? In other words, we call it comm lag, communication lag. There's very little communication lag time between you and the consumer. Intuitively, you're navigating through this. Why? Because you've done the reps. Why? Because you have the audacity, the boldness, the confidence, the courage in the face of rejection to do it over and over. Master your craft. You have the discipline to show up. You have the discipline to follow up. You have the discipline to do the work. All these things coincide, right? You develop strong intuition, right? By asking high quality questions. Again, with repetition, these questions give you answers that guess what? Your consumers have the same vantage point. When they're buying your product, they're buying your product for a particular reason. And more likely than not, every consumer that comes in from today to every day thereafter is buying your same product for very similar reasons. This makes you more intuitive why customers are in the market for what you're selling, what product or service you have to offer. Intuition is key. Think about it for a second. You're on a first or a second date. Your intuition tells you if this is the right one. You already know by the second date. I don't think we're working out very well. Like you may not say that you may not have the audacity to tell that person that. Maybe you just ghost them and don't say a word, right? Because you don't have the audacity or the honesty to share with them, but you have the intuition. It's no different when you're with a client. Again, a great salesperson has 6 qualities, and one of them is the intuition. Number 5, confidence. You hear me say it, and I really believe it, but competence equals confidence, right? And this is the feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. So this is not only confidence with you, this is also confidence with your client, right? Does that client have the feeling or belief that they can rely on you, right? Are you self assured? What is self assured? Self being you, assurance means you trust yourself. You have assurance in you, but you have to be building customer confidence in you. You're supposed to be the expert. A great salesperson has confidence. They exude confidence. How do they have confidence? Through repetition, through having audacity of being bold and courageous and putting in the time, having the discipline. See how these all link together? They all coincide and go together. So again, not only are you the expert, but again, you have confidence, develop confidence because you're the expert in your product, you're the expert in the figures, in the numbers, you're an expert in the market, you're an expert in building a relationship. Think about this for a moment. If you're with a client and you're selling a product or service, again, your confidence is going to come from your competence. How well do you know what you're saying and sharing with the customer about your product? Not only about the product and how it stands on its own, how it is in the marketplace, how your product sells versus the marketplace. When you're talking figures and numbers and you're talking costs, are you oblivious and have to just totally rely on sales management to walk you through figures, or can you logically, mathematically, from an accountability standpoint, walk customers through the monies and make the monies make sense? Again, this is confidence. You're the expert. Building a relationship, establishing a relationship, making a friend. This is no different. If you're selling a friend, a personal friend, one of your products, it's a much easier deal. Why? They have confidence in you, they know you, they trust you. That's your job and responsibility as a great salesperson is to build that relationship. The very last quality of a great salesperson out of 6 is character. Now, again, you may think, well, how does character play into this? Character's huge. Character's huge. Character is your particular reputation in the marketplace, right? Character is your mental and moral qualities that is distinct to you as an individual. The trust, the honesty that you build. Again, this is why I go back to the excuse me, the value of presentations and process, the value of repetition, practice, drill, rehearse. Why would I say those things? Again, for you to honestly, with integrity, to go through your product and service and process on how your company wants to do things, you have to understand completely what's the end game, what's the end result. How can I present this in a way that's the most genuine, honest, and authentic for my consumer to make a well-informed decision? Through practice, through discipline, through showing up, through being rejected, having audacity to have the boldness, the courageousness, the willingness to keep forging forward, to know your craft, gives you exactly everything you need to make sure that you can present the things like you need to your client. This gives you, again, this allows you to be authentic in your approach and gives you the character. Here's the thing about character. It's your reputation in the marketplace, and your customers will tell everyone about how good their experience was with you based on your character, based on your authenticity, based on who you are as a person, based on your personality, based on your ability to build a relationship, based on your ability to know the figures, based on your ability to be an expert in your field, based on your ability to know your product inside and out, based on your ability to have practiced, drilled, and rehearsed your process, the situations, the presentations, right? That is what's going to give your customer the ability to tell everybody how good you are and what you did. That's your reputation in the marketplace. Or they will also tell everyone in the marketplace your reputation if you're not an expert, if you didn't do a great job, if they didn't trust you, if you were a little shady, if things weren't on the up and up, if you weren't authentic in your approach, if you didn't establish a good relationship, and if you haven't practiced, drill, and rehearse, and it becomes really obvious to the consumer, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So listen, we're talking about 6 qualities of a phenomenal salesperson. There are several. I've given you 6 that I think are extremely important with audacity, repetition, discipline, intuition. These things, along with confidence and character, are vital. And in the world of sales, remember, success is not the destination. We want to get the end result. We want the sale. I want the sale. I'll be the first to tell you, I want the sale. But you also need to remember that, again, it's a journey and it's fueled by your passion, your persistence, and your relentless pursuit of being excellent in your craft. If you are a sharp business person, and you're a man of faith, of integrity, and you want to do the right thing, and you want to make a ton of money for you and your family, you deserve it. You deserve to make all the money. Whatever the margin is, you deserve to make all the money if you've earned it, if you've done the right thing. So look, again, we're getting ready to start another week. We're getting ready to get into another week. You have an opportunity to course correct this week. You're selling yourself, you're selling other people, you're selling your family every single day. Think about the 6 qualities of a great sales professional. You've got them today. Let them work for you this week. If you like what you've heard, guys, I encourage you to share the message. Encourage somebody else that's in the sales game, that's in the business game, the leadership game. We're talking life lessons. We're talking all things sales related to what we do as men trying to earn income and also expand and get better every single day. You know, again, I say it at the end of every podcast. I don't know if anyone's told you they love you, but I love you, man. I know you got the abilities and skills to get better, to do better. I know you got the ability to go to the next level. And so, again, until next week, I will see you on the Louie Herron podcast.